Alrighty guys, welcome back to another episode of my Let's Play of the full version of Wild Run. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the April updates for the crew. And as you can see, we have all these new features. We have camera mode, or video mode as you can also call it, stunt races, and of course save and share for free drive challenges. But we're interested in a brand new car that they've added to the crew. Well, it's not really a brand new car, it's a Spec. We are interested in that, the Pagani Zonda R, which was shown just there. But first, before we do that, let's see the other issues that they should have fixed in the game. Starting off with the M4, the high-speed handling. Looks like they moved the camera back a tiny bit, like they said in the patch notes. M4 still seems to perform like it used to in the last patch. Except one major issue that I see is the horrendous twitchiness has been fixed at high speeds. And I was literally going lock to lock with the controller stick, and it wasn't budging. It wasn't losing control anymore, which is a good thing. Because it handled perfectly, except for the high speed cornering. And now that I've damaged it up, I'm going to fix it. Because this thing's a cool looking car. It's got to handle really good in all performance. In all kinds of performance, and I also want to see the interior, if they fix the interior on the M4, and it looks like they have on the full stock and perf. If they fix it on the perf, then that means the full stock is also fixed as well. It looks like only the gauges illuminate, but it's not too big of an issue. You're not going to look down most of the time. You're just going to look forward, and you're only going to look at the gauges. The gauges actually look really nice. They have a slight blue glow to them, which looks pretty cool and pretty modern. Not just like the normal white glow. An orange glow would have been cool, but that's not realistic. It's just kind of a whitish blue glow on the M4. But anyway, oh, you son of a bitch, I'm gonna kill you. You bumped my car. That was very, very rude of that traffic car. I'm gonna sue that man later. And in fact, as I was going through the list, I noticed there was another spec added into the game. The Dirt Spec Super BRZ. And you see here, I'm just going through the list. I actually sped this part up because there was actually not any other new specs besides the BRZ, the Zonda, and the Zonda R. The BRZ Dirt Spec is actually a surprise because they didn't even mention it in the patch notes. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to come in next month for May. And of course there's no brand new extreme specs either. So yeah, that must have been an accidental add-in for the BRZ Dirt Spec, and here we are. The standard the Pagani Zonda F. Now actually, you probably saw there, the name changed from Zonda F to Zonda R, which is realistic, and it's pretty cool seeing that, because the circuit spec cars are indeed race cars, and they should have a slightly different name from the actual original car. And from listening to it right now, it actually sounds a lot different from the standard F. It sounds more higher. It sounds more higher pitched. And basically it sounds like a Zonda R now. They actually have the RPM gauge, the non-digital one, on the center of the wheel that actually works, but unfortunately there's no digital gauge that actually works. Not too big of a deal breaker for me. At least we have some gauge that works, which is pretty cool. And the interior is actually basically spot on. I don't know if you noticed before, but they added some little high beam fog light things. By the way, the engine actually says Zonda R, which is really, really cool that they added that tiny little detail, and they have the exhausts from the Zonda R. I mean, the whole thing just looks extremely realistic. And of course, I left those wheels onto it. I actually later on put some gold rims after I fully finished recording the video. Now, I don't recommend actually doing grip bonus parts. I did this for the sake of the video because I heard that the brakes weren't that good, the handling wasn't perfect. It handled like the M4, so I thought grip bonus parts would help. Nah, they didn't really. So I recommend full top speed bonus parts on this thing, and the same with the M4 circuit spec, since this thing handles pretty similarly. Now, the only unfortunate part I have to say is the Zonda R, the circuit spec Zonda, actually has a full body vinyl like the M4, but I don't find that too much of an issue because the whole entire body is carbon fiber, and it's a realistic livery as well. Now you're probably saying, well, it doesn't have the Nürburgring thing on it. First of all, you can actually get a Zonda R without all those Nürburgring logos and stuff like that. That's just only on the world record Pagani Zonda R, those Nürburgring stickers. But if you get a normal Zonda R, by the looks of it, you'll just have these stickers. And there was a manual in the way. But overall, when you look at it, it just looks incredible from the back. It's all open at the back. You can actually see the exhausts going into the engine, but you can even see the rear axle spinning, which is pretty cool. Now all they need to do is add the Sesto Elemento, and that would be an absolutely bonkers car to have. But there'd be an issue. It would be rear-wheel drive, not all-wheel drive, because circuit spec cars are rear-wheel drive only. Well, maybe they could actually add the Sesto Elemento, make it perf spec and circuit spec. And circuit spec is just rear-wheel drive. Perf spec, it'll be all-wheel drive, like the real one. But as you can see, it just looks incredible, the Zonda R. It looks very much like the real thing, even though they added a few things onto it, those little fake fog lights, but it doesn't take too much away from the appearance of it. But I forgot to mention, it actually has a rear license plate. I guess that makes it street legal in the crew, if it has a license plate on the back. But yeah, those exhausts look incredible. You can see them going into the engine. There's actually no engine in there, and they removed it because it would cause lag. Otherwise, a full 3D modeled engine would cause car engine would cause massive amounts of lag. As you can see, there's lights down there. The whole thing, they did a great job on the model, I just have to say. Considering that they most likely actually build the models from scratch, it looks really, really good. And they actually got the variant of the wing that I absolutely love. Oh, here's a sound comparison right here for you. And now back to the Zonda R. So the Zonda R, as you can see, the Zonda R actually has a completely different engine sound, which is actually because this is the first time they actually implemented that into the game. It's nice that they did that, because if a standard Zonda F engine sound wouldn't sound that realistic. It would sound decent, but it wouldn't sound amazing, because the real life Zonda R is a straight piped variant of the F, or I guess actually it's the Cinque, the Pagani Zonda Cinque. Well, let's just say the Zonda R came first, and then they made the Cinque, the Zonda Cinque, which is a toned down version of the R, and a road legal version of it. Of course, it has a hell of a lot less grip than this thing, because it's on because it's basically on street tires, and this thing's on race tires. But yeah, again, this thing is amazing. It's really, really awesome that they actually added it in. And the funny thing is, people on the forums are like, "Oh, we're never gonna get this thing. We're never gonna get it. The game is they added this car in too late to get this car, to get the R." Nope, we just got it, which is awesome. And again, the full body vinyl just looks incredible. But I wish there was more variation to it. Just allow us to have multiple body vinyls. Because this is not the only vinyl livery that this car would have in real life. There would be a matte white version with a different colored one. There's many ones. You can just look up Pagani Zonda R liveries or something like that on the internet, and you will find all the liveries for this car. Or you can even look in Most Wanted 2012 at the liveries. They have a pretty good representation of what the liveries look like on the Zonda R. But actually, in Most Wanted 2012, I remember the Zonda R also had a license plate on it, which was slightly funny, because this game has it as well. I kind of put it in a nice place as well. It's kind of out of the way. It's not too obnoxious. It's just there. You see it. It doesn't even cover up the Zonda R logo, which is nice. Because if it did, then it'd be slightly annoying. Thankfully, they thought of that before they threw it on. This car actually handles pretty well, I forgot to mention. It handles pretty well, but it's not the best out there. It handles pretty similarly to the M4, and it has a similar issue to the M4 before the patch. when they patched the M4 in this patch, they raised the suspension on it so that it wouldn't scrape on the ground. This thing has a massive issue where if you go over, let's just say it goes flying straight up into the air. Depending on what you hit. If you hit a bump or if you go across railroad tracks, it'll go flying straight up in the air, as far as I've heard. And that's a big issue with the Perf Spec one. Circuit Spec 1 has the same exact issue as far as I've heard, but I haven't even seen it yet, so I can't confirm. But anyway, this is a great car. I highly recommend getting this spec, speccing out your Zonda for this. And yeah, again, I don't know what else to say actually. It's actually a little dirty, which is pretty cool. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give the video a like and stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Eyes in the sky, gazing